Is the subconscious a bad thing? I think sometimes that's how we view it, thinking that it just comes out to surprise us or sabotage us. And there is truth in that. About 95% of our decisions are made subconsciously. And that can be kind of mind-blowing and maybe a little scary to think about. But I say that we can, one, also see its purpose and its intention differently than thinking that it's sort of this maybe bad devil on our shoulder or this negative part of ourselves. And two, that it's also extremely hopeful to understand this about it, its real intentions, because then we can work with it. So why does the subconscious seem like often it is contrary to what our conscious mind wants, for example? It's easy to see that, like I said, as the enemy, but the truth is it's on our side and it's giving us information in its own way, and that means we can investigate that. We can investigate our decisions and actions that seem contrary to what our conscious mind wants. And what you'll usually find is that your subconscious has a need that it's trying to meet. For example, let's take sort of a classic example here, that you're eating comfort food when you've said you wouldn't consciously or made the goal that you wouldn't. Well, even think of that term, comfort food. So why do you need that comfort? Maybe it's a feeling of safety that you're craving, or maybe it's a sense of freedom to eat whatever you want. Gaining that understanding of why the subconscious is doing what it wants then enables us to go to the step two, which is what can we do with that information? Well, fortunately, the subconscious can be reprogrammed, both through receiving our needs more intentionally, and that involves our behavior too, right? And through core wound reprogramming. So I'll say a little bit about each one. So in terms of getting our needs met, if you discovered that you had a need, let's say for freedom, you could try in some other areas of your life, for example, or perhaps in even with food, you could try to see if there's other ways that you could meet that need for freedom. And then it's also important to do it intentionally and to really notice when you're doing it so that your subconscious takes it in that you are getting that need met for freedom. So for example, you could switch to a method that's more about mindfulness of what you eat. And noticing the amounts over limiting a particular food item that you really love. And then, of course, freedom could look like all kinds of things in different areas of your life. Maybe you're not as free with your time and you want to have a period of time each week when you feel really free to pick whatever strikes you in the moment that you want to do, for example. Whatever that is for you, whatever feels like freedom, you can cultivate that and get that need met and really receive it by noticing. And then that will go a long ways towards your subconscious not trying to seek freedom in ways that you don't consciously intend. And then the other way that you can work on this is to do that core wound reprogramming. So let's go to the idea that maybe it was about feeling unsafe and you wanted comfort food really in that pure comforting kind of way. So there's ways, of course, you could try to meet a need for safety and notice where you're safe in your life already. But if you do it as actual core wound reprogramming over several weeks into months and beyond, it really has huge effects on all kinds of different ways that your subconscious could sabotage you because of this core wound that you have. So I've mentioned this in other videos as well, but the basics of core wound reprogramming are to use repetition and emotion to reprogram your subconscious. And so in this case, if you have an I am unsafe core wound, you would look for different counter examples and really focus on the emotion of them. Particularly, it could be helpful to do at a time when you're more suggestible, like after breath work or first thing upon waking in the morning or late at night, though you can really do it anytime. Those are just the best in terms of your brainwave states. And what you'll do is to run through those examples, really feeling them. And then, of course, repeating it over time is the important part. So as you do that over time and you find that that core wound gets healed, then you'll also find that your subconscious does not try to sabotage you, as we say, which is really trying to get this underlying core wound soothed. And so as you do this, it'll have lots of different great benefits in your life, but one of them will be this way where your subconscious does not feel like it's at odds with your conscious decisions.